you may be unsuccessful now, but as you all know, you only learn and get better by failing. So
Yeah.
those unsuccessful ventures and endeavors that you do come across in your life will only build you up to be better in the future.
All right, welcome back, guys, to another session of Sleight of Mind. Today, we're going to be talking about your personal definition of success, what that means to us, what that potentially means to you guys. So I want to kick off with a question. If tomorrow morning you woke up and you were earning £1 million a year, would you be happy and or successful? Would you believe that you are happy and successful?
So in my current mind of thought, I would say yes. However, I know my personality, after like give me maybe a year or something, I'll be like, no, because I need progression as well.
I'll probably say, in terms of would I be successful, I'd say no.
Okay.
Would I be happy? Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Jamie? Yes? No?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be successful. If someone just handed me $1 million or pounds, I wouldn't be successful. If I earned that job, say it was something I've been working at and I got offered a job because I did that on merit, then yeah, I'd consider it successful. So it depends on the context of it.
Now that is scenario one. Scenario two is exact same. You wake up tomorrow, exact same offer. You're getting now paid £1 million a year. The nuance is every single person you know earns $1 billion a year. Now, do you still feel successful? Or
No.
yeah. The question was posed and like talked about the like living standards and prices of things and stuff like that. But it was just to get the initial juices flowing as to think like how much we actually compare ourselves to the people around us and how much that can make a difference on how you feel and what you consider to be successful. So if you guys could sum up what you believe to be successful, because I think from my perception anyway, people that are deemed to be successful are people that have money and live a healthy lifestyle, travel a lot, have expensive items of clothing, cars, things like this.
Yeah, I think the definition has changed over time. Definitely mine. Like even recently it's changed, and it probably will change in the future as well. But that's just obviously my perception of it. So my definition, like of late, is really, are you successful in the moment? So not right now, not in the future, not in the past, not what you've done. Are you successful right now? Are you doing something right now that you're successful at? Have you grown today? Have you learned today? Have you earned this amount today or that amount? Or have you earned anything today? You know, these are things that I deem successful. So success is an everlasting task. But those are long scale things. Whereas I've really shortened mine down now. As have I been successful today?
Cambridge Dictionary, their website, they got a couple definitions of successful. First one is pretty generic, so achieving the results wanted or hoped for, which could be applied to anything. And the second one is very much, I guess, the reason I picked this topic. So having achieved a lot of, become popular and or made a lot of money. That's in the Cambridge Dictionary. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I agree with what Jamie said. Not comparing yourself to others, and because then if you do compare yourself to others, you're always going to be a failure because that person is best at being them, and no one else is better at being that person than that person. I feel like a lot of people don't actually realize when they are actually successful themselves.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, success is something that people sort of don't label themselves with until someone else from the outside recognizes their success.
I think too many people think if they had money, it would solve all of the problems, but it doesn't. It will solve some of your problems, but there are a number of problems that can't be solved by money. I watched an interview, it was a podcast with Tai Lopez recently, and he said something quite interesting that really stuck with me. And he basically said one of his mentors told him, always be a 7. And he goes, in your scale of happiness, you always want to be at a 7, because if you're at a 10, you can only go back down. But if you're like a 5 or below, you're sad. You're not happy with your life.
I've listened to a lot of Gary Vee stuff lately, and he's actually changed his tone a little bit. He's always said the same things, but he's putting a lot more emphasis now on being happy.
Yeah.
And saying like you're successful if you're happy, rather than I'm not saying to work 20 hours a day. I'm not saying hard work is everything. I'm saying if you want to be a billionaire, don't expect to watch 8 hours of fucking House of Cards and then go and think you're going to be a billionaire one day. No. But the main thing I'm driving here is be happy. If you want to surf all day long and eat bonbons, do that. That's what makes you happy. It's not what makes me happy, but do what you need to do to make you happy.
But I think you have to be content with your own growth, which is then comes on to the other thing. Do you guys reflect on where you are right now? Do you ever ask yourself, am I happy right now where I am?
Yeah, see, present day, that's what I'm saying. Present moment, like that's where it's at.
Who's more successful, Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos? Currently the richest man in the world is Jeff Bezos. You could argue and say, well, Jeff Bezos is more successful than Bill Gates because he's built a bigger company.
Yeah, no, but that's only because of recent standings. I would still say Bill Gates because he changed the world. Without Bill Gates, there is no Jeff Bezos. So
no, I agree. I just wanted to pose that.
So you know what? To the flip side of that, though, I think Jeff Bezos is in a better field, which is more long-standing with the way our times are going.
It's just that Bill Gates for me would be because it was the first thing. You know what I mean? Apple PC was the first thing, and without that, nothing else happened. So regardless of if it's bigger later down the line, it's bigger now, it's bigger in the future, it's in the present moment. Without that, it never happened. So
it's like saying because I think the people that invented like the airplane were not the people that got the main credit for it.
Yeah, the Wright brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I heard something about their story recently, and it was just same sort of lines.
Yeah, same as McDonald's, the founder of McDonald's, the brothers. They ain't for that. They didn't get any money for that either. They got hardly anything, like 1% or something like that. But without them, there's no McDonald's, and look how massive that company is. So let me pose this before we log off. Let me say, how do you define being unsuccessful?
First thing that came into my head was, one was if you're unhappy. Secondly, based on what your potential could have been. So I would say you're unsuccessful if you go below your reference point.
It's probably easier to answer if you look at people at the end of their lives.
Yeah.
And then you can say, right, this person set out to achieve A, but they fell way short of doing that. Therefore, they were unsuccessful in this endeavor. In this moment in time, like as you're progressing, as I said, you're either successful or you're failing. You may be unsuccessful now, but as you all know, you only learn and get better by failing. So those unsuccessful ventures and endeavors that you do come across in your life will only build you up to be better in the future. Now, if you get those mistakes and you still don't learn from them, then you suck and you're
I mean, I kind of agree with what J-Power hit it on. I think it's just like living or working below your personal potential in that given area. I think if your potential is way above, or your aspiration is way above where you're currently at, then I would say at that moment in time, you're probably unsuccessful.
So you man are saying, that everyone that's overweight is unsuccessful because they had a prime ability to be on weight.
In terms of I'd say
I'd say no.
I would say that they're not unsuccessful. They're unsuccessful if they want to be that way. Some people literally don't care. It doesn't mean you're unsuccessful because you don't care. You're actually still happy. You're successful then.
It's such an open-ended question. That's why I will always, like what I said from the start, is for me, it's in that moment. It's in that task. Are you successful at that particular moment for that particular task, and you just keep working on that. And even if you did fail, you succeed next time. You learn from it, like Jamie said, and then just have your reference points, like J-Pow said, and you just keep working on that. So if someone was to ask me today, are you successful? I'd say, hell yeah, because I owned my day. And that's one of the main books I'm reading by Aubrey Marcus, Own the Day, Own Your Life. That's it. You hit every day as it comes. So yeah, that's it for me. I think owning that day on being successful in that moment is what's key.
If you enjoyed these clips, be sure to stay tuned tomorrow, where we'll be dropping the full discussion on this. Be sure to like the video as well and drop a comment with any of your thoughts.